Hello everyone. Today I'd like to show what's in the box uh, video of old game. We call it classic, which is this one, Western Front Tank Leader by West End Games. The game is by Leonard Quam. I think I pronounced that right. The game came out in 1987, so I would guess it's a classic by now. The box is a bit beat up because I bought it off of Board Game Geek, like a lot of us do if we want to play older games. And from what I was reading regarding this game, I really liked what everybody was saying about the game. It has it had a innovative system for the time it came out. It's a card driven game, sort of CBG. And it focuses basically on the C3 doctrine, which would be command, control, and communications. This is the back cover of the game. The complexity is on a scale. It's got various complexities here. It says air cavalry. Well, the scale is around 3 out of 5, I would say. And solitary play is at 2. Okay. That's because you use cards for this game. But I'm going to try to figure out a way to play this solo, some way or another. Alrighty, so let's have a look at the game. By the way, this series, there's the East Front Tank Leader, and then there's the Desert something. I can't remember now. Desert Leader, I think it is. Alrighty, so here we have a manual. Nice picture of the guy here is Organ Stockenfer by Michael Whitman, I would say. Anyhow, rulebook is a bit beat up, but the game is intact inside. This goes up to, let's see, yeah, there isn't that much rules. I would say this is about your basic rules. Okay, go up to page 14. Alrighty, and then from page 14 to page 20. Okay. You got your advanced rules. Then we have see how many scenarios were in here. If I can figure that out. Now let's find out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the basic game. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, yeah, 15 scenarios, and then you got the notes in here on the back. at the end, sorry, of the rule book with some information with regards to the units that you can find in this collection. It's quite unique from what I've been reading. I'll be doing I'm going to try to do a play through of this game. But like I said, it's not too solo friendly, so I'll see how I'll do that. But at least I'll show how this game works. You can see here the layout of how the command cards structure is laid out. Okay. You get your nice fancy tray here. Some units are already punched out from the previous owner. Okay. Really like that old games. You would get your tray, not like nowadays. All right, West End Games, New York. Clean this out. Got our newsletter. All right. Here we have what would be the turn track for the game. Turn track and other information. Okay, you got your straight deck cards here because artillery hits are done, barrages and all that. It's done via the strike deck. Your turn counter here, track here. Sorry. You also have battle conditions. Okay, it could be summer, spring, fall, or winter. I'll explain a little bit how that works later. Then you got urbanization, contour, area, and road net. Okay. The unique thing about this game in this matter is that if the scenario calls for a variable urbanization, then you throw dice on the table, and depending on what you get on the dice, the area that's urbanized on the map is going to be either with wooden block or with stone block, or it'll be clear or wood. So the same map serves differently depending on the rolls you get. Okay, which is quite unique. I really think that's quite fancy. The same thing with the row net, and the same thing with the area. Depending on the rolls you get, the hex with the woods could be, if it's a lighter one, it could be clear or it could be woody, and then the darker one could be forest instead of woods, for example. All right, which is quite interesting. So that makes that map, same map, different areas will have variations to it. Alrighty. Here's the cards. This would be the part of the deck for the German side. Okay, you can see they're not like I said, everything is quite new. Everything's new inside. It's not punched. This would be, for example, your command card. And how this works is that each card corresponds to a formation. For example, this one here of the 43rd Tank Battalion, you would have these units under this command card. So when you play this card, these units are activated, for example. And then you have your C rating, which would be these two letters here. The higher the C rating, the better it is. The lower the C rating, well, I guess the worse it is. Okay, in this case, this would be a command card. But then you have formation cards. Okay, like this one. For example, this is an HQ, all right, and these are the units that come into play when you play this card. The way it works a little bit is you start off with the lowest C rating that you have in your hands. Each scenario will dictate how many cards you have for each side, and then you start off by playing the lowest C rating you would have, okay, being that card at first, both for both players. This is the this part. Sorry. This is part of the Allies, okay, because you have American, British, and German. Okay, same story here. The difference that the Americans and the Germans can have parent cards, and the Germans cannot. Okay, from what I've been reading. All right, so this would be part of the Allied. Okay, and these would be part of the German formation cards. Okay. More cards here. All right. This would be more German cards, more Allied cards. All right. You have your command cards, and you have your formation cards. For example, over here. See if we can get that closer look there. Okay. For example, this has a C rating of E, or this has a C rating of F. That means you would play, this would be the first card you would play from your hand. And then it would work like this. I would play this F card, which would be my lowest card. My opponent would play his lowest card, okay? And if his lowest card would be, for example, an E, he would get to activate his card first because he has a higher C rating. But I can interrupt this activation by playing another card which would beat his E, for example, or B. Or if I played an E and we would have a tie, then we would roll a dice on the to break that tie, okay, on the chart. It works like that. You can interrupt, and the first card, the last card played is always the activated card. And then once that activation is done, and you activated and did all the operations for that card, then the card below that one gets activated unless it's interrupted. You know, so you're always in this sequence of interruption, or unless both of you decide not to interrupt each other, okay, and then you just play out the cards in the order from starting from the top. Okay. Here we have our player card. All right, combat result table, the cover charts, spotting procedures, spotting modifiers, summary. Target is vehicle. Target is not a vehicle because you have to hit counters, numbers. Sorry, one for I'll show you that now when I show one of the counters. More information here. You have your terrain definitions. All right. You have your operation summary, separation effect summary, because your formations can be separated from their platoon or their formation. Okay, stacking limits. You have 2 cards, one for each player. Okay. Okay, you can see here, for example, I'm not sure if you can see it too well, you can see the contour effects. Alright, for example, what I was talking about earlier, your seasons effects chart. Okay, and your random battle conditions table. Alright, for example, for the rogue net, if you die, if you roll a 1, it would be restricted, a 2 would be moderate, okay, 3 be moderate, alright, urbanization as well. And then you place on the track here, you place a marker, alright, depending on what you rolled and what is dictated in the scenario layout. Okay, here we have the counters. This would be the back side. This is the, front side. Alright. This would be the Americans, for example. I think the brown ones are the British. I'm not too sure. And then, like I said, your tracking markers down here. Alright, and this would be the Germans, the gray ones. Okay, sorry for the glare. You have air strikes as well, you have artillery strikes as well, you have forward observers, you have infantry, in the all this in the advanced rules. Then you would have the smoke, barbed wire somewhere, if I can find it. Then you also have the quality of your troops. You can have veteran troops or green, okay, for example. Right. So this would be the counters, and then we have 2 maps. All right. This would be one of the maps, and you can join both maps. Okay, maps are really nice. I like them. Okay. So, like I was saying, depending on the die roll, this forest could be more or less forced. Okay, or this one, depending on what you rolled on the variable, the conditions table. All right. The same happens with the season. The season dictates if these rivers are frozen or have any water in them, for example. All right, which is quite neat. I find that quite interesting. The same thing with the contour. Okay. I'll show you that in a moment here. You have 2 maps. Basically, both maps look quite similar. All right. I just showed you map B. This would be map A. Okay. Some scenarios use 1 map. Some scenarios use 2 maps. All right. So, for some reason, I have another sheet. Okay. The other one in the series that I didn't remember how it's called. It's called Desert Steel. Okay, so you have the east front tank leader, the west front tank leader, which is this one, and then you have Desert Steel. All right, and I don't know why this was included here. Have no idea. I don't know why. But I bought the game, and this is what came with it. The units. No problem. You can see this here. You can see you have your formation designation on the top left. You have the range in the square on the top right. You have the unit type. You have the movement allowance. on your left. Then left bottom you have your anti-vehicle fire strength. In the middle you have your defense strength, and bottom right you have your anti-infantry fire strength. Like I said, you have two different fire components here. Okay, and once the formation card has finished all its operations, which you would do with each counter, then you flip the counter to its backside, which symbolizes that you have finished the operation for that unit or that counter. Once all of the counters from that formation card are done, you flip the formation card itself. All right. So this is about all you get in the box. Like I said, from all the reading I've done, it seems that for its time, the system was quite innovative, like I explained here with the variations here in the map. And I'll show you, for example, you have a strike log in the back. Sorry, didn't show this. Okay, for your artillery strikes. And for example, let's say you played this first scenario here. Okay, it tells. I'm not sure if you can see this too good. I hope so. You have the map. Okay, the year, the units, reinforcements. Okay. And description, British armed units, Spain, the plus. Okay, this is battle conditions down here. This is what I was talking about. Okay, game length 10 turns. You would place a marker on the 10-turn marker. Visibility 14 hexes. Sorry, the season would be summer. Then the contour is variable, so you would have to do a die roll here to get what's in play. The area is variable as well. You would have a die roll here as well. Urbanization as well is variable, and the road net is variable as well. So all these here you would have to do die rolls to specify what this on the map corresponds to. Okay, on the unit player charts here. Okay, let's see if I can show you that real fast. Yeah, this is what I was showing you. Okay, so you would do these die rolls here. Okay, and depending on that, then you would place a marker on the strip that I showed you before. Okay, so yeah, like I said, the whole system, I find it quite interesting, and I'll try to do a solo play, or at least show everybody how the game is played. To be honest, I don't have nobody to play with, so I have no other option than to try to solo the game. But yeah, I find it quite interesting. I read that Compass Games wanted to do a remake of this game. At least there's rumors about that over at the BBG forum. That Compass Games wanted to do a remake of this game. That would be cool. Either way, I thought I'd pick up the game and check it out, and I'll be letting you all know how this goes in my next video. Till then, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. This is a Western Front Tank Leader by West End Games. And till my next video, keep on wargaming. Thank you. Bye-bye.